right, let me pause myself. All right, that's kind of last minute. I don't know how many people are going to jump in here, but this is Terminator Juice, and I'm going to be getting ready for Nintendo's E3 Direct and Treehouse. I'm gonna record my live reaction, but I'm not gonna have it be live because if you're subscribed to me and you're a Nintendo fan, then I just gotta say, what the hell are you doing watching me instead of just watching the direct for yourself? So let me see if I can share this link on Twitter just to see if I can get some more of an audience. All right. So, all right, what's up, everybody? I was waiting for some people to jump in. I'm just gonna go on Twitter and just let people know I'm live. Pardon me as I have to think to type. See, I already messed up. Hate when you guys, anyone else have the problem where they hold caps locks just too long and the second letter always gets capitalized? Hate that. So anyway, I'm gonna start in order with the press conferences, and then just kind of click on some gameplay clips or whatever, and just talk over that. So let's start with the best of the E3 so far, and that's EA. Highlight was it ended, and the lowlights were pretty much the whole thing. So that was some trash. That's probably the worst press conference I've seen since I've been really paying attention that hard to E3. So it was terrible. Next, Microsoft. And we're going to start The Purge, baby. The Purge day one. I actually would be interested in the idea of this movie, but I don't know, it looks like it's turned into, that looks almost like action and then typical horror movie stuff. But anyway, so the highlight of Microsoft for me was easily this game right here. Is this even Will of the Wisp? Yeah. Okay. Was Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It's definitely a day one on PC for me on PC, and it just looks like an amazing game. Art direction. Yeah, I like that sword move now. That's way better than the first game's little burst attack. So yeah, if you haven't played Ori, it's a fantastic action platformer. It's challenging, and it's just amazing. Controls are perfect, and I'm super excited for this game. Definitely the highlight of Microsoft's show for me. And it's like, people talk about Rayman Legends having a great art style, and it doesn't even hold a candle to this. Like, this to me is an amazing art style. This to me is what Nintendo should take inspiration from for 2D games. Like, look how everything's moving, and it just looks fantastic. Yeah, it has some aesthetic similarities with Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins, but it's just taken to a whole new level. It's so much better. So we'll just leave this play, and I'll just talk the other highlight from Microsoft. Forza Horizons 4 looks like a really fun game, and I've been meaning to get into that type of game, but I think the Crew 2's can do something even better. So um, I'll probably get that, not Forza Horizon. And then, they just showed a bunch of games. Like, I can't even begin to try to remember some of these games. Like, but then you got a ton of like Kingdom Hearts 3, that was shown like 4 or 5 times already at E3. And it's like, did it benefit Microsoft to show Kingdom Hearts 3? I mean, I don't know. I thought what they showed at Sony's was a little more, this is kind of the broad scope of this game. So to me, that doesn't really benefit Microsoft. It doesn't make me want an Xbox One. So there was a lot of games like that. I thought Metro, shit, what's it called? I forget, the new Metro game. That looked like it had some pretty awesome combat for a first-person type game. So that kind of impressed me. I'm intrigued by that game. That was probably like up there as far as my highlights. I gave the overall conference a 6.5. Yeah, they showed a lot of games, but like I said, like what's the point of showing all these multiplats? Basically, I'm thinking, oh, I'm getting that on PC. Yeah, I'll probably end up buying that on PS4. Then they show another. I'm like, oh, if that comes to Switch, I'll get that on Switch. Like that's all Microsoft's press conference was to me. And you can debate. Microsoft doesn't have the exclusives. They bought those studios, so in a couple of years that'll start bearing fruit. And it's nice to know that they're going. They're not giving up and they're buying studios. And watch Clocked It's video on Ninja Theory talking about their acquisition. Now, let me get the live chat up. Sorry, I meant to do that. It's behind here, so yeah. Sorry, guys. I forgot about the live chat. So let me try to. There we go. Let's do this. Let's see what this looks like. All right, that looks all right. So, let me finish my thought and I'll read some of these questions. So, Microsoft, like I was saying, exclusives, and they bought Ninja Theory, and Clocked It's video was pretty funny. Like the reason they said they didn't want to be caught up in the AAA and this and that and worry about that being their final game. Well, that's Microsoft. It's like that's what's going to happen if they make a game and no one buys it, I think. So, but 6.5 was my score. The pacing wasn't amazing, and you got a bunch of multiplats trailers that it's like, okay, you got 50 games. Well, 22 of them were in a 2-minute reel of like indie games, a lot of which I've seen before and I know are coming to Switch. It's like, so do those 22 games really count for Microsoft? They didn't show me any reason like, oh man, I better get an Xbox One X finally. Like nothing they showed me told me that, hey, you need to get an Xbox. Like my PC, my current graphics card is about PS4 Pro level, so I mean it's not gonna run Shadow of the Tomb Raider on Ultra, 60 frames per second, but I probably put it on high and reduce some minor things and get a pretty consistent frame rate. So I'm good there. So, in the word of, they kept using that exclusive word, but instead of saying launch console exclusive, they just said exclusive and left you to wonder, okay, Forza Horizon 4, what's that exclusive to? And then it kept showing the game and it would say available on the Xbox store. Okay, is that a digital only game? Is there a Windows 10 store anymore? Like they had the Windows 10 logo. Is the Xbox store now the new name of the Windows 10 store? Like, why don't we know this stuff? Like, it just silly. Look at this new ability. God, this game looks amazing. Guys, if you have an Xbox or decent PC, you got to play Ori and the Blind Forest if you haven't. This game just looks just phenomenal. I love the new mechanics. Yeah, in the beginning, I wasn't sure if it was the first game or the new game, but now it's just like, wow, they just added a brand new ability and, expanded the way you move the character. And it's like, that's what I wish Sega would do with Sonic. Like, Sonic just seems to be regressing. But anyway, let me get to some of these questions. Juice, was E3 worth you taking time off? It always is, because I'll be sitting at work checking my phone constantly, so it's always worth it for me. And it's about, the being worth it is about to start, at noon today in an hour. And then the treehouse, I can have the treehouse going all day. Yesterday, the podcast didn't happen because it was a nice day finally, and I've been wanting to repair my roof on my garage, so I ripped all the shingles off, and I thought I could get it to a point where I could call it a day at like 5, but I just kept running into things slowing me down. And I was really tired and sweaty, and by the time I showered and stuff, it was like 8 o'clock. So that's why we didn't have a podcast yesterday. And I'm gonna probably miss some of the treehouse, if not all of the treehouse, tomorrow or Thursday, because I gotta get the other side done. But trying to think of anything else from Microsoft. They had all those Xbox One X's on stage with monitors, and I don't know if they pulled the audience afterwards and let them play, but it was just like, why is that there? And just the pacing wasn't amazing, and like I said, it's just showing me a bunch of trailers that hold no value when you give me a minute long trailer or 2-minute trailer, and then it's over, and I'm like, okay, can I buy that on PS4 or PC? Like, I just don't know. Like, why is there a deception? Just, I know Kingdom Hearts 3, I know Metro, I know those games are multiplats, but then some of the other ones, it's just like, why are you trying to deceive me? Why are you using the word exclusive when I looked up and the game's not exclusive? Like, didn't they put the word exclusive in front of Nier Automata, or it's like the definitive edition or something, but didn't they put like an exclusive on that? I swear they did. But then you got Game Pass, which, for $10 a month, you're getting new games and stuff to play, but I'm not about another fucking subscription. Like, I'm done. I got enough subscription things. I pay for internet. You got to pay for Xbox Live. I'm not going to pay for Game Pass, so I don't really care about that stuff. They showed Sea of Thieves again, and then Ubisoft just fucking took a shit all over Sea of Thieves with that Skull and Bones game, which just looks way more interesting. And I think maybe it doesn't have the get out of your boat and have the silliness they thought, Rare thought people were going to do with Sea of Thieves, but it looks like a game more people will play than Sea of Thieves. And then that's, Gears 5. Basically, they just showed a cinematic, and then at the end, they did show some of the gameplay does look like something new, something I hadn't seen before in a Gears game. So maybe they are going to mix it up a little bit, but I'm just so done with that franchise. I was done after 3. I was just so bored playing 3, and 4 looked like more of the same, so I never played it, and 5's probably going to be pretty similar. Halo Infinite, or whatever it's called, Infinity, I don't remember what the hell it's called. That's just a game engine demo. Like, okay, is that an Xbox One X game engine demo, or is that their next generation game engine demo? It's like, I should know these things. You should, kind of tell us these things, but, I don't know. We'll see what they do with Halo. They started the show with a game engine demonstration, so who knows what. I'm guessing that'll be the next Xbox. There's maybe a launch title. That'd be smart for them to try to do it. Nintendo Breath of the Wild is you make this Halo game with this brand new game engine, you make it a launch title for your new system, which is what they needed for the Xbox One X. They needed a launch title type experience. So moving on, Bethesda. Let me check the chat here. Let's see. Anybody have any questions? Or I seen Ori at GameStop for 10. I'm gonna get it when I catch up. They have a physical version of that. That's cool. Yeah, get it. Yeah, nice one. Clocked it. Nope, definitely not gonna be arcade machines in the garage. It's not temperature controlled, and my truck, fits with not a whole lot of room left. So, and I wouldn't be playing that Outrun trash anyway. Just I feel like I'm always kind of shitting on Sega games and stuff, but when it comes to racers, like, it's pretty simple for me. NES era was different, but Super NES, I started out with Rock and Roll Racing like that, but then Mario Kart came out, and that was the game. Man, my friends played that all the time, and then, damn, my allergies, my nose is itching, and I don't know what I can do other than to get a tissue, but Mario Kart and then Stunt Race FX were the two racing games I played the most on the Super NES. And then the N64 generation, love San Francisco Rush. Yeah, that might be it for the N64 generation. I rented Beetle Racing Adventure or whatever, but just didn't really hold my interest. So then we get into Dreamcast. Metropolis Street Racer was my jam. Xbox, they turned that into the Project Gotham Racing franchise. So Project Gotham Racing 2 and Burnout 1 and 2 were my highlights racing games of that generation. I forgot to mention San Francisco Rush 2049 on the Dreamcast. That was the defining racer for me on that system. I love the trick mode and stuff. And then that's, those were my types of racers. And then since then, haven't really got into one. So I guess it's not a top genre for me, but I just kind of figured it'd be the time to, because I'm always talking about, how I don't, not always, but every time Outrun comes up, wasn't a big fan. I hated Cruising USA. I just thought that series was trash. And yeah, so I'm kind of a sim arcade style game or just a really fun arcade game. But anyway, let's get to Bethesda. I gave Bethesda a 6.5. I think that was kind of generous. Because they had a pretty entertaining show overall. Like, presenters seemed to be having a good time, and the stage was cool. You got Andrew WK, a guy who I didn't even know was still making music, comes out with a song. And Rage 2 is my game of E3 so far. That gameplay looks fantastic. id Software is involved, so I can trust that what they showed is what the final game's going to be like. Looked incredible. Like, just freaking incredible. And I'm going to bring up that gameplay. Like, holy shit, blew my mind. So, let's see, we don't need the song. Love what they're doing there. It's an open world, but the combat it's just amazing. So, like I said, game of show so far. Rage 2 looks amazing. The rest of Bethesda's show was, hey, we're making this game. Hey, we're making this game. Wait till later. We'll show you it later. Hey, we're Doom. Let's make this awesome CGI thing, but we'll show you in August. You guys know I love Doom. I'm excited for Doom, but that's not, if you're not going to show me anything. I knew Doom 2 was going to be a game. Like, it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm worried that Doom's not getting a sequel. I knew Doom was going to get a damn sequel. And just to see that bullshit and then wait till August, I was disappointed in that. Everything else, Fallout 76 and Rage 2, the only ones that got any kind of in-depth, here's some gameplay, here's what we're doing. Everything else was just like minimal. Either you saw nothing or hey, Elder Scrolls 6, here's a landscape. but is that anything you're going to see in the game? Don't know. So I felt like there was almost no substance, and then you got a mobile game. The only Switch, well, oh wait, I'm not on Ubisoft yet. Sorry, I was thinking of Trials, but that's actually Ubisoft. You're bringing a free-to-play stupid mobile game to consoles, so the Switch is getting that Far Cry bunker thing, and yeah, retro. Wait till August. Yeah, why even? Metroid. Like I said to Ms. T, we were uncertain of the future of Metroid. So to know that they're making a proper Metroid Prime game was a big revelation. Was a sigh of relief. Who was surprised that they're making a sequel to Doom? I think nobody. I think that was not only expected, it was part of my predictions for E3. I knew they were going to. Elder Scrolls 6. No one had any doubt they're going to make another Elder Scrolls. I think that's the difference. Because Metroid's future was in flux. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if there was never another Metroid game, like based on the last two, or been longer, before the next one after Federation Force. But Samus Returns came out and was a good game, but didn't sell for shit. So you didn't know they're making a Doom 2, then you're not, then, like, I didn't know factually they're making Doom 2. But if you're surprised by the fact they're making Doom 2, then I don't know what to tell you, because that was one of the easiest predictions I made for E3, period, was that Doom 2 was going to be revealed. I just thought they'd show the damn game. So I can't give them credit. I can give them credit for, hey, here's the game, or we're making this game, but no gameplay. I mean, it doesn't help your E3. And the point I'm going to end this with is 2 years in a row, Bethesda's conference was unnecessary, in my opinion. Rage 2 could have been part of Xbox or Sony's, and Fallout 76, same thing. They could have put Todd Howard on stage at Microsoft's press conference and talked. And let him talk about the game. Nothing else they showed me felt like it was worth having a press conference for. So you had 2 games of substance, everything else, you didn't need a press conference. So while it was entertaining, even though the presenters were like, I'm gonna say a sentence and I'm gonna wait for you guys to applause. Like, that shit got annoying. Microsoft, it was happening, but Bethesda, it was really happening. Ubisoft, it was happening. So I don't know why that nonsense is a thing now. Like, I'm gonna say 2 lines and I'm gonna wait for applause, but if I don't get it, I'm gonna laugh. Like, it was just awkward at times. So overall, Bethesda's was semi-entertaining, but unnecessary. So 6.5. Next, we're talking about Ubisoft, and I thought Ubisoft delivered big time. I'm gonna give it a 8.5. Not only just because they have 3 games coming to Switch, or is it 3 or 2? I can't remember. But Trials, what is the first? Trials Evolution and Trials Fusion were games I absolutely loved last generation. Well, Fusion came out right at the beginning of the PS4's life, but love the Trials series. So to know that they're making that, like, that was a series I was like, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever see one again. It might be 3 and done, because the very first game and then Evolution was great and Fusion was pretty good. So I was like, I just can kind of consider that franchise done and gone. So to see that, and then to see all the ridiculousness and know that, like, one of the top players is involved in making levels, and the community's involved. Like, I love that stuff. And that clip of just all the fails, that's the thing you laugh at, but it's also, when it's happening to you, it's frustrating, but you're still got to laugh when you die in those funny ways. So that game looks awesome. Coming to Switch. I don't know if I'll get it on Switch, because analog triggers are like absolute key to some of the more tricky you know, like extreme. What do they call? I'm trying to think of the. It's been a couple years since I played one, but they have like the courses are like easy, medium, hard, and then there's like extreme. I want to say. Can't remember if that's the word. Anyway, there's some you got to climb a wall like really steep by just kind of barely pressing the trigger. You can't tap it. You just gotta, you know, you just gotta hold it just ever so slightly. And I don't know if they're gonna pull that off without analog triggers. So I might have to get that on the old PS4 or PC. But definitely that's a day one for me. It's you think, oh, is it a race game? No, it's a platforming like challenge, like it's what is it, like Celeste, or a game where you get past a checkpoint and then you have this tough section, you got to get past that, like that section there, and then if you make it, you go past the little checkpoint beacon, and then you start from there every time. So it's like little mini sections of challenging areas, and then you just have to get through it all. And then if you get through it all with like less than 3 fails or 3 crashes, then you get a higher rank. So it's a really fun franchise. It can be frustrating, but I absolutely love it. The controls, the physics are like this stuff right here. Is like some of these I can't see working without analog triggers. So you will wear out a controller though playing this game. There's a lot of your analog sticks will get worn out, but I'm super excited for this one, and coming to Switch, so that's cool. Hopefully they found a way to make it work. So let's watch the fail compilation. Starlink, we had the Star Fox announcement. That seems obvious now, but no one saw that coming. Super cool. Fox and Falco looked awesome. Not in love with the R-Wing design. I think I don't know, it's off to me. It's a little chunky or something, but I think it'll be fine. And wish we would have saw a little bit more of like, hey, this is the gameplay of Starlink. This is what you're doing. And maybe they showed that in another trailer, but they didn't show it at the press conference. Damn fucking allergies. Yeah, these are some of the fails. Like, this shit just cracks me up. The ragdoll physics. And then, Skull and Bones looks pretty cool. Looks like, kind of a spin-off of Assassin's Creed. The sailing, the ship combat, but that looked alright. And then you had Beyond Good and Evil 2 they showed in the beginning. Still not really much gameplay, but I love the science fiction world they've created, so very impressed by what I saw there. And Jade looks good. Like, her design is awesome. Don't know if that'll be a PS4 or Xbox One game. I gotta kind of turn in my opinion towards Retro Death, saying there's no way that game will be on Switch. They're just trying too much. Doing too much with that game, I think. I think it's going to be PS5 and the next Xbox, honestly. So, but yeah, really entertaining. I fast forwarded through the Just Dance because I watched it later on. I didn't catch it live. For Honor, I was waiting for that Switch port reveal. Didn't happen. And so it was like, that was a bit of a bummer. The Donkey Kong DLC for Mario plus Rabbids, that was fucking awesome. That music like gave me goosebumps when it got into the theme of like Donkey Kong Country and shit. So really looking forward to that. DLC's like June. It's like 5 days after Mario Tennis, but definitely picking that up day one. Can't wait to play that. Looked cool. Miyamoto was there, so it was just a good show. Even Assassin's Creed what is it called? Shit. Assassin's Creed something. It looks like they've just completely reworked the combat system. It looks really cool now. Like that, I was watching the combat and I'm like, you know what? That looks like a combat system that I want to play. Like, that looks like more than just cutscenes and scaling buildings. Like, the combat actually looked fun. And I don't know how it was in Origins, but I thought it looked really good, and I was impressed. So I might actually see. I'm gonna look more into that game. I'm pretty, I'm really interested actually at this point, which is surprising. The other thing was they had a Division 2. I fast forward that nonsense because just we've seen that at Xboxes. Another thing for Xbox showed. It's like, did that really benefit Microsoft to show the Division 2? Ubisoft's game coming to PS4. Most people will buy it on PS4. What else? There was a couple other things. Crew 2. I mean, I'm already sold on that game. Looks awesome. From Red Knight's little closed beta video. Crew 2 looks really good. Yeah, and overall, I think that's about it. Ubisoft, am I missing? It feels like I'm missing something, but yeah, the guy talked about the Rainbow Six Siege or whatever player base and stuff. Didn't realize that game was that popular, so good for people that like that game. Seems like they're still supporting it. But this Beyond Good and Evil 2 footage right here, it's like, is this a cutscene from the game? Or is this like, let's just make some awesome CGI stuff for this E3 reveal? Like, this would have to be in the game. I mean, this is going to be a 200 gigabyte game if there's this level of quality video. Like, we've already seen quite a bit of cutscenes from this game, so it'll be interesting. I like the characters are all, cool designs and stuff. And like I said, Jade looks freaking awesome. Like, hairstyle, everything's just like perfect. So, and I never played the first game. I played like the demo of the 360 version, so it's not like I'm a big fan or anything. I'm not gonna try to front, but all right, let's look up that Assassin's Creed. Wasn't Odyssey, was it? It was Odyssey. All right, so I wasn't even close. I should have remembered that from Mario Odyssey. Oh, and I forgot to mention one of the other highlights from Microsoft, and that was the From Software games like Psycho, that samurai Japanese-looking game. Like, that looked awesome. We don't need the trailer for that. What was that? Is it this one? I think this is it. Yeah. I'm not a big From Software guy. The Dark Souls, Demon Souls, like Bloodborne, like that dodge roll nonsense. But look at this. The art direction's amazing. And the combat looks to be a little bit, I don't know, it's different. But this was definitely a surprise for me. So From Software, not like, oh my god, they're the best developers in the world. Like, I don't think much of them because I only played Demon Souls. But this looks way more interesting. You got this grapple mechanic. That looks way more interesting to me than anything I've seen from Software. So this looks great. The Jump Force, like what do you got? One Piece and Naruto and what's the main one? The Goku one. I can't think of that franchise. Whatever. That one, it's like, what is the game? Is it a fighter? He just came out with Dragon Ball Fighters, and it's like, what is this game? But I don't know. Anyway, this one looks pretty cool. And yeah, let's get on to Sony's next, because I know I've seen a lot of hate, and I will say the format was, the flow wasn't great. So the whole let's switch to a new venue. Everyone thought that was going to happen for each game. They only did it once. It was completely unnecessary. So that part of it was stupid. But other than that, I mean, if you really think about it, this played just like their last two E3s. You take away the orchestra, and it was just long gameplay clips with some reveals. You had Resident Evil 2 and stuff. Um, and if you were like to ignore, like if you were watching it live, obviously you couldn't. But if you just skipped the little banjo, like the little instrument before this, and the bamboo flute before Ghost of Tsushima, or however you say that, it to me it played just like their last few conferences, and it was an hour long. They showed games, and I was getting a little antsy at the length of this cutscene here, but it's only 3 minutes now that I'm looking at it. And having played and enjoyed The Last of Us on the PS3, I wanted to see gameplay of this, and some people thought there's no way there's gonna be gameplay of Last of Us. And there's gameplay, and I can tell that this was scripted at times, but from playing the first game, this is what the game's going. This is gameplay. Like it was a stealth type game, and obviously they're not getting caught. Like you might get caught by those two people when you play it this section, and you'll have to die and then learn from it or whatever. You might have to go guns blazing right away. So in that part it's scripted, but this looks like what I would want from the first game to the second game. This is a nice upgrade in the stealth mechanics, the movement speed of Ellie. Like, I love that it's not Uncharted. Like, I'm gonna cover behind this, I'm gonna pop out and shoot people until 5-6 guys die, and then I can go to the next area. Like, this looks like it broadened, because there were sections in the first Last of Us where you could kind of tackle it in a way you wanted. Like, the area wasn't this big, but you could, and if you die, I would try approaching it a different way. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing, not just from the visuals. I think the visuals look great. It sucks that we've seen multiple games kind of have this gameplay now, but I like this gameplay, so I can't be mad. Like, Shadow of the Tomb Raider showed a similar style, and then the Ghost of Tsushima kind of had a similar setup, but then it got to that sword battle, so then it turned into nothing like this. Felt too violent. That was The Last of Us. If you haven't played The Last of Us, I mean, it doesn't hold back. Like, it's what The Walking Dead would be if The Walking Dead was on HBO. Like, it gets away with quite a bit, even on AMC, but it's a brutal world. And the interesting thing for me as a fan was that they didn't show any clickers or any infected. So what's that going to be like? Because that was better than the human battles. So I'm actually really anxious to see what the actual creatures, and I know the clickers. I don't know that they all had specific names, but to me, like, the clickers were the threat, and so I'm interested in seeing that. But like, you could play this just like this, or you could probably go guns blazing if you had enough ammo. Maybe on your second playthrough, you get more ammo and stuff, but you might not have get spotted by her, and you could have took him out, and it wouldn't have been as exciting. But I'm guessing, because in the first game there was a bit of a dodge, but it looks like they've taken it to another level where you got to do a button press. I'm hoping there's not a button prompt on screen in the final build. Like, I hope it's not just missing from this, because if you can just know you can press a button to dodge at the right time, then that's sweet. That's one of the weaknesses of Tomb Raider, is the close quarters combat. It's just kind of spam Y until you get a finisher. So if the dodge mechanic and stuff works great, like, if it doesn't force you to go under this truck, but if you want to, like, I like that. I like the dynamicness of it, if that's even a word. So I'm looking forward to it. I know there's gonna be a ton of cutscenes, and it's the story's gonna be the thing most people focus on, but the gameplay looks good to me. So, and this chick's about to get shot in the head. At least they didn't make her fucking brains or anything blow out. So, yeah, I'm excited to play this game, and you could be mad at the but the lesbian kiss and stuff, like, that stuff doesn't. I don't even think twice about that stuff anymore. Like, oh, it's they're pushing lesbians and females and this and that. Like, I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about politics of that. The character was a good character in the game. The first game, like, you can pick that up and run and throw it. That's cool. They added Metal Gear Solid little hostage thing. Like, it all looks cool to me, so I'm looking forward to this game. And then Ghost of somebody. Is the T silent or the S silent? That's all. That's what I want to know. The thing that blows me away about this game is the art direction, and yeah. Art direction doesn't mean it's going to be a great game, but, I mean, if you're not thinking the next gen Zelda, Breath of the Wild could look like this and getting excited about that, I don't know what to tell you. So, Sushido, okay. Or Shima. Yeah, Retro, that didn't help me. Putting a T and an S together. It's either a silent S or a silent T. You can't say them both together. Tsushima. Who knows? Whatever. Art direction's awesome. The Switch 2 or whatever, I'd love to see. Like, this took the blowing grass of Breath of the Wild to a whole new level. You could say, oh, well, this it's a walking sim and it's creeping around, sneaking around, but you got to take in, like I said, just running around. It's the first time seeing this game. You want you to take in the landscape. And it's just like the atmosphere, the art direction. Yeah, it's gritty and dull here, but that fight at the end with the sunset, like, very impressive. PS4 definitely has plenty of power still in it. There's no need for PS5, in for at least 2-3 years. Like Tsushima. That's what I thought. I thought one of them was silent. But either way, you can pronounce it however the hell you want. But if you're not like, if this was Breath of the Wild, like, look at that. That's Breath of the Wild to the next level. That's the next leap with the Breath of the Wild style. So if you're not excited about that, but you love Breath of the Wild's world, I mean, at least this, to me, wows me. The rest of the game, who knows? Will it be boring? Will it be, will you have things to do? Is there too much story? I don't know. But this looks awesome. I mean, it's like, I wish Horizon looked more like this. It's amazing. So, the next thing they showed was Death Stranding, and that is a walking simulator. That's what they showed us. That's what they chose to show us, was a walking simulator. But I love the setting now. Now that I've seen, like, the environments and the game world, and it's not just some crazy cinematic, like, it's a cool setting, and it's weird, but I'm starting to see where they're kind of going with this, and it might not be a fun game because it is Kojima, but it actually was nice to see at least some in-game walking around. So now I just need to find out what you actually do. And I don't know how this is just like The Last of Us, when he's not sneaking around here. He's not taking cover, crouching. Like, he's just takes these guys on. Like, Hollywood loves to make sword fights and stuff look like these epic things, but you stab somebody, you do 2 moves and they're dead. If you beat them with 1 move and stab them, they're dead. So this looks really cool. I'll definitely, unless something changes, this looks like a game I want to play. Like compared to like God of War, when they first showed God of War, I'm just like, okay, that doesn't look great. I don't like what I'm seeing from the combat. I'm not digging the art direction, which turns out later that the art direction was pretty good for God of War. But this looks cool, you know. You could talk about, look at the, you know, it's just visuals. Well, what do we say about Nintendo and the little details? What do we say about Stagnant Worlds? Mud flinging when he was walking. Maybe this water doesn't move when he walks, but and look at, I mean, they at least put a little bit of mud and footsteps. Those are some of the little details. You got the wind blowing, which is ever since The Witcher 3 seems to be popular. But now you got this color change here, and it just, yeah, here's some sneaking, but you know, I like that type of gameplay. So I'm not huge into the like tactical Splinter Cell stealth stuff as much, because that's just too punishing. If you get seen, it's basically a fail. Let me see here. Retro just wanted to reiterate how right he thinks he is. He probably is. He speaks multiple languages and stuff, but either way, it's Tsushima, whatever, however you say it, it's hard to say. Didn't know the stream was going on. Yeah, I mean, I posted on Twitter, and it was a last-minute thing. Just trying to kill time until the Nintendo Direct. But, I mean, just, this looks awesome. I mean, is it always going to be cloudy for atmosphere, or is it going to have sunny days where it's like Breath of the Wild, where the sun, like midday sun is when the game looks best? I don't know, this game, I don't know what issue someone could have with this game. It looks great. And let's get to the final battle sequence here. And who knows what this is. This going to be button prompts on screen when you're actually playing the game, or can you actually learn the mechanics and you don't need button prompts? That's what I want to know. That would be like, that's the difference between getting it and not getting it for me. So we'll have to see how this combat system pans out. But I mean, just the leaves blowing in as they're moving. I mean, you know, the Nintendo fans love to say, you know, Nintendo's the little details. Like, these are the little details. You could call it, oh, it's just visual. No, this is, somebody thought, hey, we have these pile of leaves. When they thrust forward, let's have the leaves blow up. I mean, it's just awesome. So it's like, I love this. And I hope the game pans out to be good, because it looks great. And then the whole Spider-Man thing, it's funny because I feel like I'm on the opposite of most people, especially Red Knight. Spider-Man looks like, what they showed last night looks like an Arkham Asylum straight ripoff for half this demo. The combat system, you're in a prison, the villains are just toying with you, like, it's Arkham Asylum. Like, come up with your own freaking game. Like, this looks like straight Arkham Asylum ripoff, but with Spider-Man. Like, and I'm not a big fan of that combat system. If you love that combat system, you're probably pretty excited for this game. I don't like that combat system. It's playable. I got through Arkham Asylum. I tried Arkham City, and I'm like, you know what? I'm bored with this combat. So the rest of it looks like, reminds me of the Tomb Raider / Uncharted. You got to keep running, you know. You got to make your jumps to these fallen bridges and stuff, like, but this time it's just pressing the web slinging button. Like, I don't know, I don't like these moments, but I know that's what they like to show. Like, how hard is that to actually make it through there? Is there any skill involved, or is it just press a button, spam a button, and you go and you shoot through there? And then when the whole outside area, like I said, it's just one of those cinematic, Michael Bay looks flashy, but you're just probably tapping a button when you see that little icon. I'm guessing it's the circle button you're hitting. You can press it when it pops up. You press it and you're good. You know, what's the average gameplay going to be? Like just swinging around the city looking for missions? Like how does it work? Yeah, it looks great. It's impressive visually. But I've just not been excited for this game, and I've never really played a Spider-Man game, so I'm not like tired out by it. It's just, you know, it doesn't like that. Was that anything you did? Did you press a button there? I mean, I don't know. Out of all the stuff Sony showed, this one has me the least interested, believe it or not. And this is just like a Sonic running auto run and just pressing left or right to dodge, you know, 3D Sonic type moment. So I don't know, nothing about the gameplay looks super interesting to me, but I might be wrong, who knows. So overall I gave Sony a 7.5, and you take out the annoying little music things, the intermission that only happened once, and it basically played just like their last two E3s. It was, you know, just showed games, had extended gameplay clips. The only thing I'll knock them is they kept pushing the word deep dive. I don't think extended trailers equals deep dive. Like, just say extended trailers, extended looks. Deep dive tells me what they did for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, what Square did, which I didn't watch Square conference. No reason to. To me, this was more of a deep dive into Shadow of the Tomb Raider than anything Sony did. To me, this is a deep dive. The guy talking, inspiration for the game, of concept art, and how, I mean, the one thing about this series, like, how would she survive this? Like, it's just kind of stupid. The ridiculous Hollywood, you know, movie type people survive. Like Lara survives just everything. And who the hell was in there that she can't? She's pretty thin. Like, who was the pilot that that seatbelt was that tight for? But to me, this is a deep dive. Talk about it. Concept art. Show the mechanics. The only thing I don't like is Laura. I always want to say Laura because I have a cousin, Laura. Lara's stance is like she's this ninja stealth killer, you know, like but I like this stuff. I like the animation of hugging to the tree. She's got her blue shirt, you know, like her classic color scheme going on. She don't have the short shorts, but I'm sure you can unlock those, and but it makes sense for this game for her not to have it. I like this. I'm sure that's just a button prompt, but it looks cool, and stealth kills were pretty satisfying in Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it looks to be even better. I mean, it's the same game engine. That jumping animation is the same, which I'm excited about because I love the exaggerated jumps you could do. It really felt like you could get around the environment. And then taking people out with arrows and stealth kills and stuff it's good stuff. And I know there's going to be the tombs and the climbing and the puzzles. I hope it's, you know, takes it to another level from the last game. This whole covering herself in mud seems unnecessary, and that stance, it just seems a little silly. I don't know if maybe they'll tweak that, but it just seems like I don't like it. For whatever reason, it don't look right, but maybe they did motion cap with the voice actor, and that's what she looked like. But I like hiding in the foliage here. You know, it's just a button tap, but to me, this one's, at least I'm setting it up, and it's I can go guns blazing. You know, you don't have to do it this way. So there's really no other way to do a stealth kill in a game than just press the button at the right time. Breath of the Wild has it. Silent Strike. And Clocked It pointed out that, yeah, the AI is stupid. Like, he's talking to this guy like they're buddies. And 10 seconds later, he's like, I found a body. Looks fresh, too. Like, you were just talking to the guy. Like, can't... That's that one little detail that could have took this to the next level. Holy dude, are you alright? Like, he was just talking to him. So that's kind of ridiculous. But doing a time check. Overall, I would say the games that I've from E3, Rage 2 was the standout game of show so far. Ori and the Will of the Wisp would be probably number 2. Then I'd say Ghost of Tsushima would probably be 3. The Last of Us Part 2 would probably be 4. Shadow of the Tomb Raider 5. I had already seen plenty of The Crew 2, and Forza Horizon 4 kind of impressed me, but I'm trying to think of the next, like, as far as like gameplay that wowed me. I know what Trials is like. That didn't, knowing the game exists is awesome, but that reveal wasn't like on the level of some of these other ones. And then that From Software game, Psycho or Seiko, whatever, that was pretty cool. So yeah, those are kind of my highlights for people that joined. Gave EA got a -100. I just made that up. Xbox 6.5, Bethesda 6.5, Ubisoft a 8.5, Sony a 7.5. And then next will be Nintendo. So what I'm going to do, anybody got any last questions or thoughts? I'm going to end this in about 5 minutes or so, and then switch it to private. I'm going to record my live reaction to the Direct and the Treehouse up until the first break. And then as soon as that's done, I'm going to make my live reaction public, and then move upstairs and just relax on the couch and watch the rest of the Treehouse. So yeah, Star Fox looks cool in Starlink. I like the design, seeing like Falco and Star Fox in like hey, this is what they should look like by now, with they shouldn't still look like N64 character models with, high res. So let's look at Starlink. Star Fox. See if they have just the Star Fox. Yeah, they do. So I love like seeing Fox and Falco and then hearing the blah 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 blah. Like I had already known because I checked it was kind of leaked, not leaked, but it was spoiled for me. I was trying to avoid, but I checked my phone and I seen Star Fox and Starlink, and I was like, oh shit. But so I'm wondering if I would have known at this point. Would I have known at this point? Like, it was taken from me, so I'll never know. Definitely would have known at that point. But look, like that looks so awesome. Like, why didn't he look like that in Star Fox Zero? So I think Ubisoft really did nail it. Yeah, I mean, they had a good conference. Even the Assassin's Creed game looks good. Like the combat looks finally like they figured something out. That's what you do as a big third-party publisher. That's what EA should be doing. I mean, yeah, Prince of Persia would have been great, but there was no like, even the Just Dance stuff. Like that was a cool little, music number and stuff, dancing like. That took a lot of effort and skill, to choreograph and stuff. So even though it's just dance, it was still cool. And then everything else was just like, hey, we love this game. Like Starlink guy, like they did it again. The dude was almost in tears talking about how he got to work with Nintendo to bring Star Fox into the game. So, I mean, I thought they did. They've best of show so far, so we'll see what Nintendo's Direct and Treehouse do. So I guess I'm gonna just give quick thoughts on Smash Brothers and Fire Emblem. Just if Smash, first thing you see and you're like, is this Smash 4? Like, is this a definitive edition? Then it's a fail. That game ran at 1080p 60 on the Wii U. We already know that the Switch is more powerful. Other than Bayonetta 2, all the other games have gotten an increase in resolution or frame rate or both. And then, so all they have to, the only room they have to grow is character models and, animations or whatever. Like, but I would kind of expect this to be like a kind of a new direction for the art style. Like, I don't want to just see Smash 4 art direction with, maybe some better detailed characters. Like, that would be slightly disappointing. So I'm really interested to see what direction they take. I'm not expecting like a cell shaded Smash Brothers or something crazy, but I would like to see them change it up a bit and go a little more, put a little more artisticness or artistic design into the game, and not just be more of what we've already seen with Smash 4. So and then the characters, I think the highest chance, the third party character has the highest chance, I think, is Rayman, because of their partnership with Ubisoft. So I think Rayman has the highest chance. Number 2 would probably be Bomberman because of the Konami and Super Bomberman R sales. And then probably third would be maybe Crash. I don't know. I really just don't want Crash in there. I think those are the top 3 possibilities. Simon Belmont, maybe because of Konami and Nintendo, maybe they could throw him in there. And then some wild cards. Banjo. I think there's a chance Banjo-Kazooie will be in there because of them saying that they're going to let other studios handle their IPs. And then my long shot, I know there's not a damn game on the Switch, or there's only been a few on Nintendo consoles, but fucking Lara Croft. I mean, I don't know how she worked in Smash, but she's definitely the biggest character not in Smash, video game character as far as I'm concerned. So, but looking forward to that, and hopefully there'll be reveals of characters throughout the Direct. And then Fire Emblem, I'm expecting minimal effort. I'm expecting really awesome HD cutscenes, but then 3DS game, like actual gameplay, obviously character models will be higher, but in HD. Like, I don't expect to be wowed by the actual game as far as the visuals. I don't think they're going to go all out. I think could be a Pokemon Let's Go situation where it's like, this first game on Switch isn't going to be like that true leap that it should be. So I'm a little bit cautious about Fire Emblem. So I'd love to be wrong, but I kind of think it's not going to be, the most amazing thing. And then what else have we got? I don't know, but I got to take a quick break and get ready for Nintendo. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll upload my live reaction once the first break happens during the treehouse. So we'll see you in a